It was black like the night. The enslaved from all about was fighting with might, freeing up the island from the horror of whites. The revolt like the canes was burning bright. Then a black army appeared on the scene. Masahi troops felt supreme. But then the army turned the guns and started shooting them. Bring the rebellion to the end.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. Victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Black soldiers was joining in the fighting, so the pain that came was insane. But deception changing the name of the game. For them was not freedom fighters, but black colonial deceivers. Buster, I'm sorry.
Yes, General Buster. I'm sorry.
Buster, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yes, I'm so sorry.
Buster, I'm sorry.
Buster.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
So sorry. It was black like the night. The enslaved from all about was fighting with might, freeing up the island from the horror of whites. The revolt like the canes was burning bright. But most little slaves had put out the flames, even get compensated instead of blame. And taking the money and buy land, where the freedom monument now stand.
I'm sorry for the way it turned out. Victory was clear. We never had a doubt, but we just didn't see it coming here. Mr. Wilton's slaves was blocking the way, stopping the other slaves from the north from passing, coming to join in the fight. The diversion made them late, helping to seal the fate of the day. Yeah. I'm sorry.
I feel your pain, General Buster. I feel your anguish, running in desperation, running from the deception. Yeah, it was hard to take. I feel the shock that pierced the body, bring the rebellion to an end. But they only send your spirit into ancestry, raising in the freedom monument to invoke after the apology. Out of this burning rubble, a new day has risen. Samuel Jackman rose from the struggle. Embedded in the monument is Buster spirit, waiting for the moment to awaken. Somebody Buster spirit, somebody dagger, Buster spirit, his spirit is, his spirit is, his spirit is, Buster spirit is, Buster spirit is.
Oh, yes, Barbados. It is Heroes Day. Happy Heroes Day. Today to Barbados. And those of you who are joining, this is the Marcia Week Show. And we are coming to you live from Barbados. Beautiful Barbados. And I tell you, today we had a beautiful, nice, sunny day. It's getting a little warm now, don't you think? Yeah, getting a little warm. And tonight's show gonna be quite hot. Not warm, but quite hot. Tonight, as we we're gonna first of all, we're gonna talk a little about the heroes because we're gonna celebrate it. Unlike our Prime Minister, who did not celebrate Heroes Day today. Did not. What were the plans that were in place for today? For Heroes Day celebration. This is something that's been going on now for a number of years. And I was looking at a video of the Prime Minister at their annual picnic. So she's turned it in a day where she has a political event on National Heroes Day. Yes? National Heroes Day, and she has a political event, and I'm going to show you some of it. But before I do, let's just anybody can list the names for me of the heroes. Just list the names. Who can list the names? List the names. And as you are doing that, let me just say a special good night to you. And we are going to go straight into this tonight. Vernon Garnes, good evening. Marcia Miller, loyal opposition. Judy Jilks, loyal opposition, good night. Flo Joe, Charmaine, Teroni, Nigel Carrington, are we ready? Oh my goodness, this is the people's voice. We are the people's voice. It's time for a new Barbados. I tell you, it is time. When you have a prime minister who's going to hijack a national holiday and make the national holiday all about one hero, as she said on the stage, you're going to hear her, Grantley Adams. One hero out of all the heroes. It is time for a change, Barbados. Monica Ince, Tyrone Blackman, Justin Time, Tony Paris, Queen Bee, Tyrone Blackman, M. Gardner, good night. Tony Paris, Elizabeth Knight, Salt Bread. Good night to loyal opposition. Hey. listen, Mystic Shirley, Jack Murphy, Mystic Angel, Steve Moore. I have not seen you in a long time, Steve. How is it going there in the UK? Is it warm by now? Ryan Rock, Tony Paris, Joanne Richards. Good night, Jacqueline, Aline, and I owe you a call, I know, but you know what is going on. Yes, Callie B, she has turned it into BLP Day, and I'm saying to Barbados, don't forget this. Don't forget it. Don't be caught up in the fish and bread. So here it is. She has all those people, and I know we're gonna listen to a little bit of that. Nothing about national heroes. What we need to do is to ask the government of Barbados, what did they plan for National Heroes Day? Can anybody tell me? I might have missed it, in all honesty. But is there anything that has been planned by the government of Barbados for National Heroes Day? Hi, Cammie, Diana Husbands. I said Judy Jokes again. So Judy Jokes is saying Mr. Barrow, Errol Barrow, Gill, Mrs. Gill, Sarah Ann Gill, Grantley Adams, Rihanna. Who else? Has she left out any of the heroes? Hi, Pedro. Hi, World Sea Boss. Listen, World Sea Boss asking if the teachers are still protesting, and I was asked to remind us that when there's a sick out, they are just allowed 2 days sick out without a doctor's note. So by the third day, you have to get a doctor's note. So the teachers are going back to school tomorrow. That's my understanding of it. But they're planning something else. Okay. So the time for the sick out for them is over. But let's just look at what is happening on Heroes Day. And I'm going to make sure I play enough of it so that people don't say I only play the stuff with Felicia, which I will play a little later, and I didn't play enough of the BLP candidate. But all of this is timed together. And I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised that this government has used taxpayers' money to do this. When you listen to her, to what she's saying. Go ahead and play, Dave.
This is people. Good afternoon and happy National Heroes Day. Yet again, we have come down here as one big family to celebrate generally National Heroes Day, but for the people of this great party, you know that this is also whose birthday? Grantley Adams' birthday. And
pause there, Dave.
Of democracy. He was.
So did you all hear what she said? We're generally celebrating National Heroes Day. Did you hear it? But we know really that we're celebrating Grantley Adams' birthday. Think about it. Is there any other government in Barbados? I might not know. I've just been here 20-something years. But is there any other government in Barbados would have the gall to do this on National Heroes Day? Let me wait for you to put it in. I'm waiting on you because I don't want to be making up things on this government here. I want to know, is there any other government that would have done anything like this? Did you hear what she said? That it is generally Heroes Day. Generally. It is a national disgrace. I agree with you. Where's that comment? It is a national disgrace. This is exactly, I keep telling you that this prime minister you see on the screen is a disgrace to Barbados. She's disrespectful to Barbadians. Disrespectful. And a disgrace. And people, they say, Marcia, you come on the program and nobody's going to listen to you. They're going to march and they're going to vote. Well, we understand the obia, all of the obia that they're working. We understand that this is the same woman that ordered that they go dig up bones and take the flag and bury it. It is the same disgraceful prime minister that is on your screen. A big disgrace to this country. That's my opinion. Disrespects Barbados, refuse to wear the flag, remember? Don't forget, Barbados, that's who she is. And she would be on this solemn day, a solemn day when we should remember what our heroes have done for this beautiful country. The prime minister of the country is holding a fete and invites people, give them free food, which, by the way, it's the only reason they're there. Free food. No mention of Bossa. No mention of Sarah Ann Gill. No mention of Errol Barrow. And all the others. Only Grantley Adams. What a disgrace. What more can she do to us as Barbadians? So it's just behavior so common. Disgusting behavior. That's the only word that I can use, because I cannot believe that someone could be so, against her people? But let's continue to hear what this fraud is saying. This fraud that is standing up before you as and you know the thing about it. I see people saying, "Oh, Felicia DeJohn is not Bajan. Why they couldn't get a Bajan? And what she's doing is Bajan. This is a Bajan prime minister." But you play Dave, and you see the rest of what this fraud is doing. She's a fraud.
That gave us the right to what? I can't hear you. And that's the point. So that even as we enjoy ourselves today, I want you to go home and remember a few things. Because today, how many people know that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are voting today? How many people know that the people of Canada are voting today? How many people know that we have a by-election in St. James North today? Oh, how many people plan to go and work and to make sure that we give people choices that will make a difference to their lives today? I really want to just say a few words to you. Because when you have an election, it is about a choice. A choice.
Pause, Dave. And this is what this fraud, pause, Dave. This is what this fraud that you have as a prime minister, a fraud. Happy National Heroes Day. One sentence or just 3 words. And then she's gone into election. All of you but I understand that she's a leader of her political party, but she is still the Prime Minister of Barbados. It's National Heroes Day. List all of what? List for me the events that were prepared by the government for the nation of Barbados to celebrate the heroes, the ancestors. Well, we still have Sir Gary and we still have Rihanna here with us, but the rest are ancestors. List them for me. List the events that were advertised today by the government of Barbados. I'm waiting on you to list. And you will see why I tell you she's a fraud. You can't list anything. I tell you, she's a fraud. The woman is a fraud. You can't list anything. What in Jamaica would say, what could go so? How you can have Barbados National Heroes Day and you have a pet? You are the Prime Minister of Barbados. Huh? Because all you're interested in is power. You want to clutch onto power. And part of your rituals that you do is that you bring them together and you feed them. You bring the people together and you have the money and you feed them. But Dave, play a little bit more for me.
One party or an ex party. And the reality is that we have a lot of people today who know how to tell you everything that's wrong, who know to oppose and to say no. But when you ask them what to do and how to do what to say, can't talk.
Stop it right there, Dave. That means she doesn't listen to the show. There's so many ideas that Barbadians have come up with. She just does not listen. This fraud in front of me here does not listen. And so she's going to say you're criticizing and don't have suggestions. Oh, please. Oh, please. You're telling intelligent Barbadians that because only you have the solutions. So why don't you do them? You were walking and parading all over Barbados and opposing everything. You are now in office and crime has gone up 150-something%. You should be ashamed of yourself. You are a fraud. Play some more for me, Dave. Let me deal with this fraud tonight.
Simply voices of opposition and agitation cannot help put food in your pocket, cannot give you a job, cannot help us make this country safer, cannot help us prepare for hurricanes and all of the things that will destroy us.
So which is it? Hold a minute. So where is the food? Where is the food that you're talking about? Some of these homes that we've visited, where you said that in your tenure nobody would have pit toilet. You said, oh, you promised all that's going to happen with the economy. Big things are going to happen. The only thing is that big things don't happen for the poor people in the country. People still eating ramen, going to the supermarket, going to the shop and buying one ramen. And using a little packet. That's what she has reduced Barbados to. Poverty. And talking about jobs. What kind of jobs are you talking about? To clean the roadside? And when you and the same Edmund Hinkson from the same St. James North got some of those people to clean the roadside, and the woman fell in the well. Rachel fell in the well. And all you did was send a piece, according to Rachel, some withered up flowers to send to her to the hospital. And Hinkson told her that she should be happy she had a job. If it was not for this show and Mr. Franklin, she would not have gotten her money, would not have gotten any compensation for it. In this show, we were able to raise money to get her to do therapy. And that's the mayor that care. That is a fraud. She is a fraud. All of you that come over here, go back and tell her, I say she is a fraud, because that's what she is. Fake. Don't care. Huh? About jobs, where the jobs are. Huh? How you could get up on Heroes Day and no, seriously, think about it. And this is what you're doing? Having a election rally? Keep going for me, Dave. Thank you.
We need, and I want us to remember this on Heroes Day, is that we need an alliance, a partnership, a compact between you and the governed, between the government and you, between us. Because without that partnership, we cannot go any further.
No, Mia, we're not going back in any demonic covenant with you. But what you need is this partnership, and we need to. I forgot the word she used, but it's that covenant, a covenant. Remember the covenant of hope from the first manifesto I showed you on the show. That's what she wants. So this is a spiritual thing that is happening here to strengthen the covenant, but we bind that. We are not going in any more covenant with nothing that's demonic. We are not in any covenant with anything that's demonic. That is cut now. Yeah? And what you did is to bring all, we don't even know what was done over that food. You drove them there and you call them for food. They're going to come because the people are hungry. You have made them hungry. You have made the electorate hungry, and so that you can give them food. That they will go home and it passes out. Some of them don't even have indoor toilet. That's what this fake that you have here as a prime minister is doing. Fake. Huh? And then you're going to see further what she did. Keep going, Dave.
We are at a stage where we need everybody to play their part. That is why I tell you all the time, youngsters, many hands do what? Make like work.
Lord.
Because
So
when
deep.
all of us come together to lift something heavy, we can do it together. And that is why we say, in the same way that when we came to office, people were not working and people were under the pressure of debt and people were under the pressure of not getting so many services. And over the last 7 years, we have not reached perfection, but we have done well by the people of Barbados. We have done well.
Stop. List the well. List what I want all 760 of you. List how your life has been made better since this fake has been in office. Since the fake has been in office. And listen to me. I know some of you come over here and you came over here to do whatever. Do what you could write what you want to write. But I'm going to share my opinion over here. She's sharing a bunch of hogwash down there. She mounted a stage and sharing hogwash. I'm going to call it as I see it. Yes? So go ahead. Go ahead and list all the things that she's done. She talk about how she came and relieved us from debt. From who? You that have made us the most indebted. You have piled up debt upon us. Like how when the donkey going to the market and they put all kinds of things on the donkey. That's what you have done. Our lives have not been better in the 7 years. In fact, it's 7 years of crosses. This is a 7-year curse. You have put a 7-year curse on the country that we need to break. Fake 7 years curse you have put on this country. 7 years curse. And I don't care how many persons go and vote. I don't business whether they win the election on the 21st or whatever. I will forever declare you are a fake prime minister. You do not love the people of Barbados. You only love yourself. You love power, that you would take the nation's National Heroes Day for yourself to secure your power. You are power hungry. You are drunk on power. But your day is coming. Your day is coming when you are going to reach for that power and there is nothing there. You cannot name anything. And I tell you, you see, when anytime the disrespect happens to the people of Barbados, there is something inside of me that ignites a fire. Right? Look at this. Look at this. A brother here saying that Trinidad now addressing an issue with their flag being flown upside down. Ours was flown upside down as well. And not just up, but put in the ground. Touch the ground by this fake that is here. And then you all talking about Felicia is not a Barbadian. And then when you're ready talking about they need to deport me. You ever hear the deport a citizen? You need to make sure she needs to get deported. Life is hardest right now in being taught the truth. Do not allow this fake prime minister. You have to be a fake prime minister that you would hijack the nation's National Heroes Day for yourself. Put on party colors. You bring food and invite people up there, and you get away with it. You get away with it. And you're able to get away with it. You know why you're able to, because you've made the people hungry. Huh? You have made the people hungry. Dave, play some more for me, please. Getting me fired up here.
And we could only have done it with your partnership and your cooperation. So I want you, my friends, we have choices to make. Not just in Trinidad are they making choices. Not just in Canada are they making choices. But in St. James North, the people will have a choice between Chad Blackman and somebody else or others. And I want you to lift up Chad. He's a big man, but many hands make light work. And we can do it together. And wherever he is in this crowd, I want him to know that he does not walk alone, but he walks with all of us, giving him the strength and the power to be able to deliver for the people of St. James North. You helped raise him for the last 24 years in this party.
Pause there, Dave. Pause there. Pause there. I want you to go, Dave, just scroll down for me. If you could find, Dave, you still there? Just scroll down. Right? Scroll down for me and see if you find where she brings up Beanie Man, because here it is that she brings up Beanie Man on stage. Right? Somebody's calling me. It's not time to call yet. It's not time to call yet. Right? She brings up Beanie Man on stage. So what do you expect? If the people come in and Beanie Man is going to be there and you bring out all these people, you don't expect the people to come. You announce that Beanie Man is going to be there. Nobody knows that he's not going to perform, right? So they're going to come. They came for entertainment and they came for food, because that's how you have the people. But I remember there's a scripture in Kings, right? In Kings that says, where they said that they will not eat at Jezebel's table. They will not eat at Jezebel's table. And I tell you, I will never eat at Jezebel's table. But because the people are hungry. So that's what happens. And they've got the purse, the government purse, and it's National Heroes Day, and they fork up the money. Last year they had Morgan Heritage. So if you have entertainment there, what do you expect? How many of you know that these events that are planned by the Barbados reggae weekend, that the Barbados reggae weekend, those are being produced by a prospective MP for St. Joseph, Ryan Brathwaite. Did you all know that? I wonder if Dave, are you still there, Dave? And listen, she bragged about Beanie Man performing in her constituency. I want you to find that, Dave, is a little further down. It's about at probably 47, 43 or thereabout. She says that Beanie Man performed. She didn't say at the Botanical Gardens. The fraud said that Beanie Man performed in her constituency. And she brought out, at the end of that show, she brought out Ryan Brathwaite, who is the owner for Ticket Links and one of the producers for the Barbados Reggae Weekend. So you're going to tell me somebody would have to come and prove to me that she's not one of the producers of this event. All of it came together. So she has a prospective MP bringing in these people. Then they bring them to the picnic. So you have these big name people that you brought to the picnic. They've tried 43 seconds, please. If you start there, you should be able to see it. And while she's doing that, I'm not Dr. Ferdinand Nichols, as you could tell. Dr. Ferdinand Nichols is not able to be on tonight because it's a holiday and he is with his grandchildren, and they're beautiful grandchildren. One of the granddaughters performs with Praise Academy, lovely family. And he and Julia, wonderful people. And so he's not on tonight. And excuse my manners, I needed to have said that very early, but I just went off on your fake PM. But go ahead, Dave. Go ahead, play a little more of this fake.
So today, I want us, because in Barbados we have some guests, and I want to big them up. Last night they did a wonderful job in my constituency at the Botanical Gardens. They call him the king of dancehall.
Yes, Naya. Cool, Naya. Who am I? Just the girl, them sugar.
So, stop right there. Stop right there. I wanted you to hear that, right? I wanted you to hear that this fake prime minister says what? What the fake prime minister says. This supposed to be private event was held in our constituency. And when you put it all together, if Dave would just go to the pictures and so on in the email, then we will see Ryan Brathwaite, because she brings up Ryan Brathwaite, and she brings up Ryan Brathwaite. Exactly. If he appeared, he got paid. In your right. So if you check the email, you will have pictures in the email. But you see, I want to show you guys who Ryan Brathwaite is. I'm waiting on Rose Corbin is supposed to join us. Mrs. Rose Corbin, if you're listening, it's time. Right, so we're not going. We're going. I want to be able to show you, but if you go, all you have to do is to go on Instagram, and you will see the picture of this gentleman, Ryan Brathwaite. Actually, I might be able to show you a few things with him, right? Ryan Brathwaite is this is a man. I'm showing you how this thing is so nasty, right? It is so disgusting. Okay, can you see my screen? This man on the right of your screen is the man who's put together, who has produced, one of the main producers of the Barbados Reggae Weekend, right? And he is the man that is tapped to take over from Guy Smiley in St. Joseph. Do you see how everything is fitted together? Do you see the corruption? Do you see it all together? That's him there. Yes. That's who he is. And if I was able to show you, you know, if we look probably in the drafts, there is a picture that I really want to show you while I wait. Okay, so this is him. Do you see how everything is mixed up, guys? Do you all see what I'm trying to show you? And it makes us wonder then, Vibes Cartel, The Vibes Cartel show. Was Mia, I'm asking a question, was she a producer? Was she a producer as well? Was the BLP behind, also behind the Vibes Cartel show? If Dave could find the picture where he is on the stage and she calls him out, you see the same person. And it's not the Ryan Brathwaite that did the hurdles. Okay. So what I'm saying to you folks is this. There is such a web. There is a web that is woven. It's weaved. It's woven. Is that the right word? Right? And it is all together. Look at what I am showing you. Play for me, Dave. Play. Can you play? Or move it along until the guy. So this is her and Beanie Man. So the Prime Minister and Beanie Man is on stage and okay. Okay, and this as she puts it in her positive. This is the same guy. This is the same guy that is walking up and down in the constituency of St. Joseph. They do nothing. There is nothing that they do for Barbados. It is all about power. It's all about cementing power. It's all about putting the power, it's all about building up the foundation of power. Disgusting, Shirley. Disgusting. And that man that is the Ryan Brathwaite, not the athlete, okay, but that guy that is supposed to be running in St. Joseph is who is responsible for bringing in these reggae artists. It says that and she addressed the Barbados Reggae Weekend Gardens crowd and congratulated Ryan Brathwaite and Ticket Links on celebrating 10 years because they put on the show. And you're going to, they want us to believe that she wasn't part of this when she stood up and said, this is for in my constituency, listen. So you understand all about when all these events that they're doing up there at the Botanical Garden, you realize what is happening is to bring out the people from our constituency. Why you realize that regardless of how the Botanical Garden is a shell, and you have to do so much to prepare the Botanical Garden. And a lot of producers don't like to go up there. The NCF moves people up there. Because it's in her constituency. It must serve her purpose. The fake prime minister that you have. Self-serving. Self-serving. And raping the poor. Raping the resources of the poor. I agree with you, B.I. That's what is happening. And they took a whole National Heroes Day and use it for themselves. Nobody has been able to say to me one event that this government has planned for the people of Barbados to remember most of them our ancestors and the great work that they have done in this country. We must forget about our history, forget about the heroes, and focus on her. Correct. She was always in this business with the entertainers. Always. And it never stopped. So why do you think the people are going to run up run up there to Barclays Park? Why are they going to run up there? Food and entertainment. I watched their live. They had a live that they just put out. And the numbers at that live can't touch anything else that we do here. Nobody not interested. She's good. She already has the money. You can look and you see that she has the money. I don't know if Dave can send the link to Miss Corbin. I think she's saying might be in the wrong show. If Dave could quickly send her the StreamYard link. I'm calling on Dave for everything. Yes? Listen to me. Shirley, let me tell you, Shirley, we are already living in a one-party state. Mia Mottley is a fake prime minister. Why do I say it's my opinion? Why I say she's a fake prime minister? I say she's a fake prime minister because there's nothing that she does. It's for the people that she serves. It's for herself. Look at crime. She promised. She made so many promises in that covenant that she got into the people of Barbados with May 24th, 2018. And she has done nothing. Crime has gone up 158% or so. She has no intention. This government has no intention. This government has no intention of reducing crime. And that they need to tell the people of Barbados why not. Why is it that we can't get nobody can hear or peep out of their mouth about the big boys that bringing in the guns? What about the big boys with the containers? Prime Minister Mottley, all this money you spend this weekend, where's the legislation? Proper, solid legislation to reduce crime in this country. Non-existent, because this government is not interested in crime being reduced. And I say to you, as someone who was born in Jamaica, lived in here in 20-something years, I have seen politicians who use crime, who use the boys on the block to ensure that they remain in power. And this power-hungry government, I can tell you, I would not be surprised if this power-hungry government would not put guns in the hands of these young men to ensure that they secure their power. Remember, I said it to you on the show, April 28, 2025. So my question to this government is, are you using crime to serve your own purposes? Are you going to be like the Jamaican government in yesteryear? Because it doesn't happen. They don't do that in Jamaica anymore. Where if you put on an orange shirt, somebody shoot you because the politician with the orange shirt come in the communities and give the young men guns. They gave them food. They give them drugs. They give them guns. And they killed one another. The government of Barbados needs to tell the people, are you so soft on crime because you plan to use it in elections? Are you planning to cause people to kill each other over red and blue? And listen, folks, It's serious business we're dealing with here. This is serious business we're dealing with here. Serious conversations we're having. And someone will say to me, Marcia, you're wasting your time coming on. Look at the crowds in that she has there. I don't care about the crowds. I'm here to speak my truth. I'm here to call it what it is. I'm here to call what I see. And I see a fake PM. Who brought them there and orchestrated the whole Barbados Reggae Festival. You're going to tell me that she has her hands in that too? I showed you right here on the screen. She has her hands in that too. Our entertainment. Then she give them food. My goodness. I'm hoping that our eyes are open up to this kind of person and realize that if this government, and I'm going to speak it in the terms that you can understand, let me tell you, this government, they're using food, they're using obia, straight up. What do you think that covenant was about? There are people who said they went to the polling, they went to vote, and they knew what they wanted to do, and they went and they got confused. I'm talking to you straight tonight. No, you don't want to listen, come off. Straight tonight. I didn't call nobody name. I said this government is using, they meet you at your base needs. And this is what they did in Jamaica. The only thing that we have to prove now is whether the government is part of supplying the guns to the guys. Is this government part of who's supplying the guns to the men on the street? And is that to ensure that power is secure? But Mrs. Corbin just got in, and we had some trouble there with the link, and but she's going to have her time. And I think if Dave could get her pictures, etc., ready for her. And Miss Corbin is going to come in. She doesn't have her camera on tonight. She says we're not going to see her beautiful face. Good evening, Mrs. Corbin.
Good evening, Marcia.
Good evening. How are you doing this evening?
Much better, thank you. The voice is still gritty, but
yes,
much better, thank you. Thanks for your concern and your prayers, and
yes,
those of
definitely.
others. May introduce my as I normally do by saying good evening, loyal sons and daughters, all firm craftsmen of her faith, and do allow me, with apologies, to share with you off camera. Thank you so much. And Marcia,
yes,
I was listening to you backstage for the longest while because I was ready to come on, as you indicated. And I heard you, your expressions, your passionate expressions on what has been happening today on our National Heroes Day. And I'm asking, what do you expect? I did not intend to start there. May I ask them to take that down for a minute or two,
Yes, a
and
minute or two,
just
because I took up your time, but I'm giving it back to you. So I'm gonna have you start of it's 7:56, so you're officially gonna start at 8. So you have the
I
4 minutes.
thank you. So
Okay.
that 4 minutes would allow me, or in less time, to share this. The National Heroes Day in Barbados was first celebrated on the 28th of April,
Mm.
1998, the centenary of the birth of national hero Grant Lee Adams, after the passing of the Order of National Heroes Act 1998. It was an initiative begun by the Barbados Labour Party, which is led by this Prime Minister. And I wondered if in all of her partying that she paused to acknowledge our national heroes chosen by them. And these are Bussa, Sarah Ann Gill, and if she hasn't, we will do it, Marcia. Bussa, Sarah Ann Gill, Samuel Jackman Prescott, Dr. Charles Duncan O'Neill, Clement Osborne Payne, Sir Grantley Herbert Adams, the Right Honorable Errol Walton Barrow, Sir Hugh Worrell Springer. And we also have our own, there are 11 of them, Sir Garfield St. Auburn Sobers, Sir Frank Walcott, and did she mention Rihanna? Because hot and sweaty, much to the surprise and the angst of the Barbadian public, we had Rihanna sprung on us. These are our national heroes, and out of curiosity, and I say thanks for their contribution. And while I was waiting, Marcia, I did a research on how is National Heroes Day celebrated. And they said, my various quick research shows that National Heroes Day is celebrated with a variety of activities, including flag raising ceremonies. We know what was being raised on the highway up there, wreath laying at monuments, public events like concerts and festivals. Now, this concert and festival that we are seeing on the other end of the island does not represent the culture or the national psyche or the national our representation of that embodies the Barbadian psyche and that represents the work and contribution of those heroes that have been chosen. Some celebrations include food stalls showcasing local cuisines and crafts, and some include fireworks. Some include, for example, in Zimbabwe, they have wreath laying at the monuments, a Heroes Day Gala, and the Zimbabwe Defense Forces Day. And it goes on in actually recognizing the heroes collectively and individually. But what we are hearing is a another um, form of electioneering, which brings me to my presentation tonight,
Yes, because it's
which I
8:01. It's 8:01.
yes,
Go right
which I
ahead.
titled um, the M's, and I'm asking the listeners to add some more M's that come to mind, given the context of politics within Barbados. And the three M's I've chosen are machinations, movementations, and musical chairs. Machinations, movementations, and musical chairs. And if we look at machinations, the Cambridge Dictionary describes it as a plot or scheme, a
Mm-hmm.
plot or scheme, and the it is also defined as an act of scheming or crafty action or artful design intended to accomplish something. It is a complicated and secret plan, especially in obtaining or using power. It is a complicated and secret plan to get power or control or to gain an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's meant by machinations. Then we have movementations coined by our own Matt Fingal. And we know when he uses movementation, he brings his body into the movement. And it is usually the innuendo of something um that is sexual, something that has sexual connotation, something that's sensual, something that looks at kind of gyrating. And we looked at musical chairs, and we all have played musical chairs at some time, and we know that it doesn't always end well for those participating, because in the end there is only one chair, and sometimes in trying to get that chair you you trip others, you pull the chair away. There are lots of movementations and schemes and plans to get into that one chair. And that is what we're seeing right now here. The movementations, the machinations to win this by election, and again to maintain and hold on to power, although you have a majority. And let us look quickly at by elections over the years and how they occurred, and the trend that we would have seen emerging since 2018, unlike previous ones. So let's go very quickly. And I think Mr. Hines spoke in some to it. We had the last speaker last night who started talking about by elections in the past, and then Glenn, Mr. Murray, said that he would like to speak on it, but as you know, he would have had this prepared from last Friday.
Yes.
So let's go quickly. When we talk about by election, what does it mean? When does it occur? Now, I am assuming that there's still the UK, the British parliamentary procedures that we're still following, and although we're a republic, and a UK parliamentary by-election happens when a seat in the House of Commons becomes vacant between general elections. In the United Kingdom, a parliamentary by-election occurs following a vacancy arising in the House of Commons, and they are often seen as a test of the rival, and sometimes they are sprung suddenly or with hints and then sprung suddenly. Now let's slide a little bit more. Parliamentary seats sometimes become vacant between elections due to death, resignation, or expulsion of elected representatives from a party. These are the sources there. So let's quickly look from pre-independence. Scroll quickly for me. In 1950, we had universal adult suffrage. And out of that came the 1951 general election. Let's slide some more. And adult suffrage basically allowed any adult over 21 to vote. Prior to that, you had to have property and wealth, and only the privileged could vote. With adult suffrage under one of the national heroes, Sir Grantley Adams, adult suffrage came around. So there was an election in 1951. Let's go quickly. On the 29th of November, 1954, 3 years after that first general election, a by-election was held in St. Lucie. On the resignation of Sir John Eustace Theodore Branker, a BLP. He then became, I think, the Speaker of the House at one point. And he won the elections in 1951. And I'm not clear, I've been researching why there was the by-election. And he was replaced by Sir James Cameron Tudor, who was also a BLP, note that, and who went on to be a founding member of the Democratic Labour Party in 1955. On the 21st of May 1950, Sir James Tudor won on a BLP ticket in a by-election, and then shifted over to start with Errol Barrow, the DLP, and there was Cameron, Sir Frederick Smith, and others. Then we had in 1958, Errol Barrow replaced St. John, DLP, and Mr. Vaughan, and he ran as prior to that, he was a member of the BLP under Grantley Adams. He was a candidate for St. George. He won St. George in the 1951 election, went to Parliament, and then lost the seat. When the by-election came up then in 1958, he shifted to St. John, won that seat, and held it until his death. Let's go on quickly. Other by-elections. Then we had in 1958, there were two by-elections. One in St. Joseph, one by Glenroy Strachan, a BLP, when Sir Grantley Adams became Prime Minister of the short-lived Federation. So we see there that Sir Grantley Adams had a reason to resign and open up that space for another person. Then in St. John, the election occurred at the same time in St. John. That is when, on the same day, that is when Errol Barrow won the seat in St. John and held on to it. Then in 1969, the 29th of May, there was a by-election in the city of Bridgetown after the death of the Barbados National Party member Louis Lynch. And it was the first election held after we became independent. Let's go quickly. I'm looking at my clock.
Yes, you have 10 minutes.
Yes. Then we had that election was won by the Prime Minister's father, Elliot MOTTLEY. Then in 1970, we had a by-election in St. Joseph. This is when, as my research throws up, when Sir Grantley Adams resigned through ill health. So it was sickness that prompted his resignation, and Lindsay Bolden won the seat. Then in 1976, we had two elections, one in the city of Bridgetown, where Elliot MOTTLEY resigned. I searched and I could not find reasons for his resignation, but there were other reasons I would have heard underground that I would not repeat. And out of that, he left the BLP, and it was Prime Minister Errol Barrow who gave him an overseas diplomatic post as Consul General to New York. And another time, or Glenn would talk about it, but you would have heard Caswell saying that the Prime Minister then, because of the current Prime Minister, doesn't say it often, but because of the kindness of Errol Barrow, who had mercy on her father and gave him that overseas post, she practically grew up under the DLP mentorship and mentoring, the same DLP that she seeks to destroy at bad mouths. Anyhow, let's move on. The same time, there was a by-election in St. Philip due to St. Philip North. When Neville Maxwell's seat became vacant, he was taken to court by Sir Henry Ford, the late Sir Henry Ford et al., for slander and libel. Do your research, folks. And he was bankrupt. So he fled the country or left the country, vacating that seat. So a civil case brought to him in the law courts brought the end to his political representation. He was DLP. Billy Miller won the MOTTLEY, replaced MOTTLEY, and so did in St. Philip. For a short while, David Simmons took over that seat. Let's go now quickly again. I'm coming down really fast.
Yes, 5 minutes we have.
Okay, I'm under pressure here. Then we had a by-election then when Sir Frederick Smith resigned again, retired after long service, come back down to the bottom as you were scrolling, and Sir Richard Haynes took over. Let's look at the next one. Then we had, come down some more. No, up, go back up.
What date you want? Right there, right there.
Right there.
Right
Then
there.
we had 1984 when there was a by-election. I think it was the same Burton Hines who vacated that St. Peter's seat, Chad Blackman's great-grandfather. And for a short while, there were two by-elections. Sybil Leacock won the first time by one vote. Owen Arthur took her to court, and they had a second by-election, and he won that seat. Then we had a by-election in St. Thomas after Tom Adams died, so there was death. Tom Adams died, and David Simmons won that seat. 1987, when the Prime Minister, Eric Barrow, died, a by-election, David Thompson won that seat. Then we had St. Michael Northwest, when that was Weeks, Lawson Weeks. Clyde Maskell, he resigned too because of ill health, and Clyde Maskell won that seat. Then we had St. Lucy and St. Thomas under other circumstances when Sir David Simmons resigned to become Chief Justice of Barbados, and Senator Ford won that seat. Then after Thompson's death in 2011, there was a by-election. His wife was the People's Choice and favorite. A St. Lucian marked that. A St. Lucian marked that. And she won the seat because the people preferred her and wanted her to carry on her husband's work. And now bringing us plump now into 2020. And I'm going to read it as I saw it here. This in St. George North, the incumbent at that time, Glenn Clark, who represented the constituency for 26 years, was offered a post of Barbados High Commissioner to Canada to relinquish in exchange for bringing home the seat, relinquishing the seat to Tony Moore, and helping Tony Moore to win the constituency. And you will notice that I said she replaced, not win. All the others would have won. She replaced by what I call the 3 M's: machinations, movementations, and musical chairs. And I had a video where Glenn Clark said, as he was speaking to the constituents and Barbados at large at St. George Secondary School, where they were announcing Tony Moore's ascension, if I could call it that, he said, Mia asked me if I would do her this favor. You all could go and listen on YouTube. Do her this favor. Glenn, let Tony Moore, help Tony Moore resign, retire, whatever, so that Tony Moore could get the seat. And Glenn laughingly said, and when Mia asks you to do something, you can't refuse, something to that effect. And it seems as though the same is happening now in St. George North. And if you listen to Mr. Hinkson's speech, there is a little rumbling and mumbling about, give way and give way. And I am going to continue to serve my country. So we are wondering if again musical chairs occurred, if there was that plotting, that scheming, and we have been hearing that the young gentleman give up a more visible, a more international platform at her bidding to come home and to be sent into the Senate, etc., and given ministries. And so indeed, we are seeing a manipulation, Marcia, a manipulation of democracy, and the people are being forced, or persons are being pulled out who probably never wanted to, or being pulled out prematurely. The people's choice, and they're being foisted with choices and persons handpicked by the prime minister to assume, to take over. And what does it say? What does it say to veterans in the system? And we have been hearing of persons. Look at John King. I am so disappointed with that young man from Church Village. He went to the polls on goodwill towards the people. The people showered him with goodwill, but he was really, what you call it, babysitting until the other person took over. And is that the norm? I am asking people, when you go to the polls under this administration, are you really voting for a bona fide representative, or are you voting for someone who will keep the chair, keep the seat until you are asked to relinquish it in favor of someone? And we were hearing rumors that that's what's been happening in St. Philip North. We've been hearing rumors that would have happened in the constituency that was earmarked for Ronnie Yearwood. We were hearing that has been, there's a few more constituencies. What will happen? Will they line up the guy in a row and tell him to kneel? You can't get back that seat. You hear what I'm saying? Line up the guy in a row and tell him kneel. You can't get back this seat. What about the city? Are we putting that gentleman down a lane and tell him run down the lane? Somebody else is taking over your seat. Well, the brown girl in a ring from the east hold on tenaciously and with dignity and morality and say, look, I am holding on to the very end because the people of St. Philip North have sent me here, and not to resign prematurely so that somebody else can come on the block. And I am hearing more persons in that BLP conclave, or whatever you call it, grouping, that they are nervous because they do. I remember that Pressy chased them out of St. Michael East, chased the homeless guy from St. Michael East soon after the 2018 elections. Are we hearing so many rumors? And I am asking, where, if you look at the historical overview that I give, these persons resigned because of ill health, or because of duty calling elsewhere, which would be Sir David Simmons, or so in the early days, Grantley Adams, who became who took up the position of the first prime minister, premier of the federation. And it goes, but this willy-nilly shifting and pushing here and plopping heavyweights on people, it is not transparent. and it is deceiving the electorate to go
Yeah.
out there and vote, and you in goodwill vote for someone, then to hear it is short-lived, someone else is coming. What about the marshal? What about the marshal? And I'm talking the female marshal. What's happening there? I'm hearing that there's been a falling out, and that person, that female marshal, is being sidelined. You know,
Mhm.
so it's it that you are maneuvering again, maneuvering another M. Ma'am, M is maneuvering, uh, having machinations and movementations and musical chairs to satisfy her own. And you know, machinations is a plot and a scheme to maintain and control power.
Yes.
And these are the things that we have to look at, Marcia. Thanks
Yes.
for obliging me on this
Yes.
one. Thank
And
you.
you know, we gave you a whole 10 minutes extra,
Thank
okay?
you.
And yes, but thank you so much. And I don't know what happened to that link. We weren't seeing you in the studio. So sorry about that. Okay, really sorry about that. But you got back your time and more. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you very
Mrs.
much.
Corbin. And I know you might want to stick around, and all you have to do is indicate to me that you want to come back in the studio when we have the call-in section, etc. All right. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much. God bless you, ma'am. Thank you.
You
Excellent.
too.
Thank you. Yes. Yes. Well, guys, that's you had it. The machinations, movementations, and musical chairs. And the big question is asked again: are we being tricked? They put somebody that's holding. The person is holding for somebody else. Are we happy with that kind of leadership? Musical chairs, movementations, machinations, everything to hold on to power. Everything is about power for this government, this prime minister. It's all about power. Well, let me use this opportunity to welcome Miss Maxine McClean, and I know she's getting ready to come on. And actually, at this time, I don't know if Dave might have the logo for Kemar Stewart. Kemar Stewart, we want to congratulate him tonight. He's had the courage to start a new political party, and we want to take tonight to wish Kemar all the very best. He's a young man, and we want to wish him the best, and just hope that all goes well for you, Kemar, if you're listening. That's Kemar Stewart. If you haven't heard yet, Kemar Stewart has started a new political party. And I'm sure you will hear more of it as the days go on. And again, we from the Marcia Week show, which you know, Kemar was a panelist on the show. We want to extend to him congratulations and the very best wishes to him. Well, let me use the time to welcome Miss Maxine McClean. Welcome, welcome, and please accept my
Thank you.
apology.
Thank you. Thank you. That's all right.
Yes,
We know how we work this show. It has to happen.
yes,
And
thank
you
you.
know, it is very dynamic. And in fact, let me say to the audience that you don't know what goes on behind the scenes. Marcia has to sit down and spend a lot of time working this out. And you have a routine, then you have to accommodate, you know, our needs as panelists and so on. And I hope Pastor Ferdinand has had a good day and is enjoying, because
Yes,
and then you have to rework them. And I will say congrats to Kemar. We know the history of third parties. So we will see how that plays out. I know his interest in politics. He's young, and we wait to see who will be supporting him. I listen with interest. Rose has a way with words. I love to I love to hear how she arranges her thoughts. And oh yeah, there it is, the logo. It's handshakes, an MP, New National Party, new voices, new vision, new generation for national progress. And we will see. In fact, I trust we will capture the history of his party and as he goes forward. But I also listened very carefully to your discussion about the events today, the Barbados Labour Party's annual grand picnic excursion, whatever else. It's much more than that entertainment exercise. And when we agreed that I would come on, I thought of something which touches on that. And I hope Dave might have been able to receive an email from me, which is the website for the regathering exercise, because that is a year-long event, 52 weeks of celebration. And having sat as former foreign minister, where we undertook an initiative to formally engage the diaspora, I can appreciate an event like this. That's the website there. And in fact, I don't know if it was my computer, but when I tried to click on a couple of these things, we had some problems. Now, I had some problems. So if you go to About Dave, let me see what comes. Okay, what comes up there? We hopefully can see the colors. Beyond the message, there were some highlights. Scroll down and see if we can. Well, this seems to be showing us some other things, our missions, our values, whatever. And this is a bit more information than I saw. But I was looking at one of the panels. If you can go to events, maybe. Interesting look there. But as I was saying, this is a 52-week event intended to galvanize the diaspora to come home. And so one of the things that they did was to break down the events into parishes. And I came up with the title that, we gathering, whether, it's time for a report. I would call it a report card from government. And I was here with this big book, and I'll come back to this. This is the estimates for this year. Because at the end of the day, when I look at the events taking place, or which took place this evening on the East Coast, and I look at the events that are taking place in relation to the gathering, and then I look at the finances allocated to the gathering, I ask myself, what is happening to this money? Where is this money going? And I hope there's an expression. I hope I get it correct. People say you put your dumplings in my rice, you're gonna end up with some of my rice on those dumplings. You understand? So if you get a little mix up. So what you don't want to, and so I took some time because I started to do this before. And I look at it also against the background of another year-long event that we had in this country back in 2016, when Barbados celebrated its 50th anniversary. And while the allocations of funds, you might have had different ministries contributing, there was a central secretariat and it had a budget, and you can go back and see the budget, if I remember correctly, was about $6 million. And I say that's 2016, that's almost 10 years ago, but I plan to pull up and do some the information and do some comparison. But one of the things that struck me, Marcia, was that, and I would begin at what I would call it's part of the exercise on the 31st of March, because remember, the budget for 2025-26 goes into effect and has to be passed in Parliament before April 1st in order for government to spend. Part of that process as well is an exercise where if there were funds, if government had to spend funds for the year that was ending, it would go and vote supplementaries. And the interesting thing was that this government would have had a massive supplementary. It was I would call it like a block vote. It's $200-something million. I can go back. But of interest in there was a provision where the government had the sum of $14 million, right? The sum of $14 million to the The National Cultural Foundation. Okay.
Yes.
And I'm looking at the document here. This is taken from documentation which went to Parliament. So it says the sum of $14 million provides for the execution of the gathering, Carry Festa, and independence celebrations by the NCF. That's the sum total description. So I would want to know, and in fact, there was also a second sum, and this is interesting, that was allocated, you know, so as they were making sure that they had all the monies to cover last financial year's expenses, that's where the supplementaries come. There was a sum of $14 million to bring to account funds advanced for payment to Wang Ho Space Structure Engineering Company.
Wang Ho?
WANHAO Space Structure, SPACE, Structure Engineering Company Limited, for the amphitheater project and to undertake capital projects. And if I remember correctly, the amphitheater project was at the Botanical Gardens. That I will confirm, because I was trying to pull all this together quickly based on my recollection. I went to find the documentation. Now, that $14 million, I would have to search. So I will come back to this again. I would have to search to find out what amount of that went to regathering. Because remember, the regathering exercise started in January. So we had January, February, and March, which would have fallen under the previous financial year. That's 2024-25, which ended March 31st of this year. Okay. So I could hazard a guess that a big chunk of that went to regathering, because Carry Festa is yet to come. And I will refer to this year's budget, where provisions are made for both regathering and Carry Festa.
Right. I think it's 4 million for Carry Festa.
Carry Festa, yeah, in this year's budget. But then if you go to, and I'll deal with the numbers first, and then I'll talk about the activities and ask the question, what are we really playing for? So, for example, and I wasn't able to go through the entire estimates. I was trying to do it on my computer, but I was having problems pulling up certain documents. I don't know. It was giving trouble. I was wondering if they were going to allow me to get onto the show. But anyway, so if you went now, so in addition to that supplementary, where a significant part, I am sure, of the 14 million goes to regathering, we have the following as some of the areas covered. You had, for example, the Prime Minister's Office on the Culture, $2,500,000. All of this goes to regathering. Under the Ministry of Tourism and International Transport, that's head 27, you had two sums. One from tourism was $50,000, and that was 0706. These are codes that you would find in the estimates. International transport also had a $50,000, so that's an additional $100,000. Okay, so far you have 2,500,000 plus an additional 100 million from 2025-26. So that's $2,600,000. Yeah. Then you have from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, $622,302. Right? And then we have, I left out this figure. I will have to go back and look at it. I think it was $100,000. Let me look at the then under the Ministry of Environment and National Beautification, you had an allocation there as well. Oh yes, here I have it. I was looking National Beautification, Regathering Vision 2025, and the sub-program is 0420, and for the year 2025, the estimates is about 1,315,000. So, and then you can look at the one that went for the year before. So and then of course, even the Ministry of Energy and Business Development, in the case of the Ministry of Environment, they identified the gathering exercise as planting 1 million trees. Okay. So they were looking to plant 1 million trees. And
Right.
then the Ministry of Energy and Business Development, and they simply say to facilitate the celebration of the gathering, 25,000. And there were some others, you know, which we can do. So when you start to sum that up, Marcia, I ask myself, what are we doing with these many millions of dollars? Because I didn't get a chance, given the time constraints, to add them all up and to finish the calculations. And I can promise anybody who's listening that they can get the totals later. What are we doing to you know, with these millions of dollars? And I will give you a sample just so you remember. Remember that we had the gathering in we started in St. Lucie. I think that's where they started. We had in St. Peter. We had in St. Joseph. We had St. Thomas, I believe. St. John is May. And so, for example, in St. Joseph, you had a heritage hike to Hackleton's Cliff. Okay, scroll down a bit, Dave. Yes, you had January, St. Lucie, February, St. Peter, March, St. Thomas, April, St. Joseph, and May, St. John. And then they had some on the water adventure identified as part of the really big gathering, I think, from the notes that I was able to pick up, partner with Atlantis Submarine, according to the notes, and the St. Peter Parish Organizing Committee, you know, to do something or the other. In essence, when you look at the activities to date, the question is, are these activities that would have attracted significant numbers of Barbadians to come home? One. And so at the end of the day, how many persons have returned home to participate? To what end? So are we spending money to have activities largely patronized by Barbadians at the end of the day? I will also ask the question, are we spending money on regathering activities at all in, you know, in significant amounts, etc.? And it really makes me raise this because people are complaining about the challenges that some parents are having, some of the elderly are having, you know, people trying to get their children to school, pensioners not necessarily being able to afford the best meals and so on after they pay their utility bills, etc. And it really, I think it is important that we hear, because we are seeing a lot of events. We are seeing events with a large number of artists. And my question I would ask, are the people who attend these things primarily Barbadians? So are we really giving Barbadians all of these treats? To what end? I don't know if I will pause there, Marcia, if you have any questions or comments that you might have in relation to this whole regathering exercise. And
yeah, you know, I'm listening here. I didn't, you know, I'm listening all the different, listening as you talk about all the different ministries, that, and how much, you know, was allocated to them. My understanding, from listening to everybody and reading about this regathering, is that they were, yes, they're going to get some from the NCF budget, but that they were supposed to take from all of these different ministries. But when you look at the level of the events that are produced, I mean, how much money it is to produce a karaoke kind of a, you know, the events are so low quality that you're wondering, you know, where did we put all these millions?
Yes.
So what I'm saying is something is not adding up when you see the quality of the events.
No, that's exactly my concern, because at the end of the day, so you are covering expenses for these events, Mike, and as you said, events that should not run us into those kind of numbers. And then in addition to that, you are having events where the primary target is for engaging, you know, getting Barbadians living overseas to come home and enjoy our heritage, participate. And at the end of the day, make a contribution. So I noticed I said that somebody said to me, I must stop saying at the end of the day. when I catch myself. But the reality is, what financial or economic impact has this series of activities, have these series of activities relating to the gathering exercise, what impact have we seen so far? Because we've gone through a third of the year, January, February, March, April, and we are about to start May. And are we seeing Barbadians come home? It's a year-long event. And clearly, if we contrast that with what had been done before, it was an activity, the diaspora conference was scheduled to coincide with the crop over event because of persons' limited financial resources, perhaps the need to travel with families, including children, get double benefits, so to speak, for your expenditures to come home. And I really have been looking at the programs and wondering, what is the real story? Let me put it that way. What is the real story?
Yeah, I mean, it's something, as you said, we need to get a report card on it. And Barbadians, use your pens. We don't use pens to write anymore, but write about it, ask questions about it, ask questions on your social media pages, ask questions in articles to the newspaper. But it's important. Accountability is important. We are seeing where this whole entertainment, this is what is being used by this government, so people will forget the fact that they're hungry, forget the fact that they cannot pay their utility bills, forget the fact that they can't pay the land tax, they can't take care of themselves. And so we are given parties upon parties so that we gather. And as Mr. Thorne he called it, that it would just be a whole set of just betting. And basically that is what we're seeing. Or if they have I think it's something I saw about a trail, all of that can be millions of dollars. I can't see where the $1 million being spent in this. It just seems I'm not as diplomatic as Miss McClean. It seems like corruption. It seems like it's a way to give your friends, a little something extra. All of the service providers, who are the service providers, ask the questions. Do the research. All of us, we are part of the loyal opposition. That's what we do. Miss McClean, any final comments in this section before I bring in Mr. Lewis, who I'm going to beg for all the mercies?
I would say go straight ahead. I just continue to be concerned that we need to have full transparency. And this is one of the areas in which we can see money scattered out. We're talking about gathering, but we see money scattered all over,
Yes.
and no specific elements of the exercise being attributed, just a generic description of these funds. And
Yes.
so
Yeah. So we are going to continue on tonight until about 9:20. Then the phone lines are going to be open up. But I know sometimes Miss Corbin goes out to refresh herself, then to come back. You're going to stay with us till or you want to go in the green room. Let me know if you want to rush and come back in.
I'll stay for now. Otherwise, I'll send you a message if I need to.
If you need to go. All right, wonderful. Well, guys, we are ready. We are ready for Mr. Victor Lewis. And we're always happy to have him on the Marcia Week show. He's been away too long, and he's here with us tonight. Mr. Lewis, good night.
Good night. I haven't been away too long, Marcia. Marcia, tell the truth for me. Hello, Miss McClean. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm super fine. Good night to the loyal opposition. Marcia, man, I had no water in St. Joseph today at all.
Wow.
That's the thing. I was calling you, and I wasn't getting through to you.
I took the water, boy. Luckily, I had a little rainwater stored there in the drum, so I was able to pump it out and get myself a little fresh.
Yes.
Yes.
You're looking good through the camera.
Talk to me now. Talk to me.
Yeah, so what's on your mind, Mr. Lewis?
Well, I was watching CBC sometime back during the course of the week, and I heard Senator Nichols. He spoke on his um, possible candidacy for St. Thomas. He also commented on the Joseph case, and I really want to commend him for the opportunity where he can be selected to be the candidate for St. Thomas. I don't know what will be the whole process they involve, but he's offering himself, and that's fine. I commend him on it, and certainly I look forward for some active environment relative to the actual constituency for the BLP, DLP. I heard Kimar I started a party also, or whatever, who else comes on board, that we have a grand time in terms of politics in Barbados. But I listened very attentively to what Senator Nichols had to say, and I really want to comment on it. So I'm gonna ask Dave just to play the clip, and I want for everyone to listen closely as it relates to the Joseph case.
But I know that the landowner had made an application for the court to discharge the injunction. We are going to resist that. We believe that we have a very strong case. The laws of Barbados provide for a prescriptive right of way. So this right of way has been in existence for
hold it there for a minute, Dave.
Period.
Yeah, now he said the laws of Barbados provide for the prescriptive right. So in the laws of Barbados, we have this dimension that speaks to the prescriptive rights of the citizens of this country in order to have access. And this prescriptive right is not, for this particular event as it relates to Joseph, but this is the laws of Barbados. It is enshrined in the laws of Barbados, that prescriptive right. It is there. Continue, Dave.
For longer than the statutory period in the laws of Barbados, and therefore there is an indefeasible defense.
Hold it there again. Indefeasible defense, beyond the shadow of a doubt. That's what indefeasible means, beyond the shadow of a doubt. Continue, Dave.
And so we are very confident that the case will turn out well for the residents in Joseph and the people who use the community down there.
Beautiful. Now, I really want to commend again Senator Nichols for his stance on this matter and the way he spoke. He's saying that the laws exist where we have that prescriptive right as the citizens of this country. So that prescriptive right is written in the laws of Barbados. Now, and he said it has been there for quite a long time. Now, Marcy, I really had to sit down and scratch my head on this one, because we are either fortunate or unfortunate to have a prime minister who is a qualified lawyer. Am I correct, Marcia?
I heard that she's a lawyer.
Yes, of course. So you may have criminal law, you may have family law, but at the end of the day, if you specialize in criminal law, you still have some idea about family law. And to some extent, if you have questions as it relates to family law and you're a criminal lawyer, then you ask an associate within the fraternity a question on family law. So That puzzled me. That the prescriptive rights, it is written in the laws of Barbados, and the Prime Minister of our country, who is a lawyer, I'm wondering if she knew that. But what makes it even more interesting, and I said fortunate or unfortunate, is that our representative in St. Joseph is the Attorney General, not just a lawyer, but he's the Attorney General. So it tells me then, when I look at the Barbados Labour Party, now Senator Nichols spoke, and he spoke as the pro bono for this case. Fine. He stated his position. Fine, I accept that. But he's a senator of the Barbados Labour Party. So he is within the fraternity not only of lawyers, but also of the Barbados Labour Party. It puzzled me how a matter like this, when the Attorney General, he is affair with the laws of Barbados, not only as a lawyer, but as the Attorney General. It shouldn't surprise him.
The MP, Ms. Ford, has indicated.
It shouldn't surprise him at all when he would have realized, and I wouldn't want to say realize because, you know, I need to tailor my comments here. I am just wondering what really transpired, because I am thinking of two possibilities where our representative knew what was going on in Joseph, and because of party affiliation, didn't say anything. Or our representative didn't know what was going on, but decided to take a stance when he realized after the fact what actually are the plans as it relates to Joseph. So I don't know. It puzzled me because he came out and took a stance. I'm just wondering if a question was asked of him as a lawyer. Now tell me, Mr. Attorney General, Mr. Representative for St. Joseph, this is what we want to do in Joseph. No, you can't do that. Those folks have prescriptive rights. It is written in the laws of this country. You can't do that. That puzzled me.
Yeah, it is puzzling. Let me wait until you're finished. Go
Yes,
ahead.
you know, but I'm just wondering otherwise. There's another dimension to all this, and I want Dave now to play the clip with Owen Arthur. Play the clip there with Owen Arthur, because this is another dimension, you know. And when I put together what our former Prime Minister said as it relates to the leadership or the potential leadership of this country, and what have transpired in St. Joseph, I am saying I'm of the opinion that despotism surfaced. And when it surfaced, the representative for St. Joseph had to retract because of the despotic behavior of the head of planning and development and the Prime Minister of our country. Play the tape there.
Had no lawful authority by which to ask her to attend a meeting, that only she could ask us to attend a meeting. So we asked her to meet with us to deal with this matters, and she refused. In fact, her preference was to meet with a group of so-called elders in a room. who had no constitutional obligation to say who the leader of the opposition should be. And it was after she refused to respect the wishes of the majority that the members of the opposition said we have no choice in this matter but to follow the exact dictates of the Constitution of Barbados. And we did it then with a difficult heart. You will remember on the first occasion they tried to do it, I refused to turn up to the meeting because it was an overwhelmingly difficult thing to do. But Mayor MOTTLEY believes, and the group around her believe in this nonsense of her divine entitlement. And let me hope, I hope that the Labour Party can come back from the break. Mayor MOTTLEY is listening to Peter Wickham, and that is going to be spoken about in some detail too, because the Labour Party failed at the last election because of a tale of two poles. And we will get to that at some stage. But Mayor MOTTLEY told her parliament, her national council recently, and these things have been put out in the open now, that the Barbados Labour Party is a tarnished brand, that the people of Barbados, based upon the Wickham poll, don't want the party to be the government, but that they want her to be Prime Minister of Barbados. That is the most dangerous doctrine. And people in the Barbados Labour Party should not just be just in case, just fall in line just in case, but they should be strong enough to speak out against what I call that despotism. And I must tell you that if the next step in this is to try to bring down others who are men enough to stand up against despotism, then this will be the darkest day ever for democracy in this country.
Are you willing to mount a political force to deal with it,
I
even though you have left the Barbados?
I have a voice in this country. I believe, and I'm not being immodest, that my voice has been a voice that the people of Barbados have heard now in active politics for over 30 years. I believe that they know what I am made of and what I am worth. And I don't have to be forming any institutions or other things to be speaking in the manner in which they feel I should speak in this country. I'm speaking to you now in the name of my children and my grandchild. That I want to live in a country where there's freedom of expression. That I want to live in a country where no despot can feel that they should hold the destiny of my children and my grandchild in their hands. And that Mayor MOTTLEY is a menace. She's a menace because she's a despot. She's a menace because she's a despot, believes that she has a right to be a despot. She would try to be a despot with me. And I want to end by saying this. My parents sent me to school so that I should not be a boy in the yard for any despot in this country. And I will be true to them and true to my children by fighting this despotism that is taking place in Barbados. And I've been patient. I haven't gotten into it. But what has happened, as I said, there but for the grace of God.
Mr. Arthur says all sitting MPs speak to journalists.
Now, there are two dimensions I'm looking at here. Because despotism, when you want to take a stance, nobody tells you, nobody questions you, nobody seeks to go against you. And we know the consequences when Dr. Crystal Haynes decided to stand up and speak. We know how she was treated. We are well aware of it. But not only a despotic behavior, I want Dave also to pull up for me showing the traits of what we call a narcissistic behavior. Because how could you have Senator Gregory Nichols being part of the BLP, our representative in St. Joseph, Dear Marshall, being a lawyer, our Prime Minister being a lawyer, and all of them couldn't see that written in the laws of Barbados that it is the prescriptive right not only for the people of St. Joseph, but for the people of Barbados, everybody, not only the constituents of St. Joseph, but all of us. That is what the Prime Minister sought to do, deprive the people of Barbados of their rights, Marcia. Yes, that is exactly what transpired. So our Prime Minister, being a lawyer, led or fed with the laws of Barbados, went totally against the laws of Barbados to deprive us of our rights. She did it. The representative of St. Joseph, he is party in the behavior, whether it is because of her despotic attitude that he stepped back or not. I don't know. He can tell me otherwise. But here comes Senator Nichols letting us know that it is enshrined in the laws of Barbados and has been there for a long time. So me and Motley knew, our Prime Minister knew that she was depriving the people of St. Joseph, more so the people of Bathsheba, St. Elizabeth, Clifford Hill, Joseph, you name it. She set out to deprive us of our rights, and she knew it. I can also say the same thing applies to Gibbs Gully. The same thing applies to Dennis Morney Hill at the bottom of Clifford Hill, where we have prescriptive rights to walk on top of that hill. That is something we've been doing for years. So we have been deprived of our rights because of the philanthropic behavior of this individual who came in, gave us a little something up in Beachmont by Hillcrest, and decide then to deprive us of our rights, rubber stamped by the Prime Minister of this country. So it is not only Joseph alone. So I would want Senator Nichols to come out and tell the people of Barbados, the other areas, Gibbs Gully. We can also talk of Culpeper Island, go up by Wilshire Plantation, go up Skeets Bay, walk down to the bottom of Skeets Bay, and where we walk across that pasture to Culpeper Island, we no longer have that access. That is also a prescriptive right wherein they denied the people of Barbados the opportunity to have access, as we have done for years, to Culpeper Island. Our rights have been deprived there. And that is unfortunate. And I'm saying to you, Marcia, that I commend Senator Nichols for the stance he took. And clearly, he knows very well that we were deprived of our rights. The Prime Minister knows it. But yet, although being well au fait with that as one of the laws of this country, she still decided to take that stance. How could we have a leader who sits down and plan to deprive the people of Barbados of their fundamental rights, of their prescriptive rights? It is very unfortunate. And I'm saying, Marcy, that we can look to see what's happening throughout Barbados now. And of course, I want Dave to pull up the traits of a narcissistic behavior. And I want for us to look at those traits. Marcia, bear with me for 2 minutes. I would have sent you their clip, Dave, dealing with narcissistic behavior. And I want to look at the traits. I think there's about 6 or 8 traits that we can look at. The traits. So if you can just scroll down to look at the traits. Roll back them there. Yeah, what are the traits of narcissistic? What are the, no, go back up. Click on. What are the traits of a narcissistic person? Scroll down now. And take it easy here. A sense of self-importance. Look at all these traits. Preoccupation with power, beauty, or success. Not preoccupation with power, beauty, and success. Preoccupation with power. It could be power. It could be beauty or it could be success. And I'm saying she's preoccupied with perceived power. And the same thing one of us spoke of just now. She believes that she has a divine entitlement so she can come to St. Joseph. She don't even have to come down there, but she can go and sit down in planning and development department and decided that she will deprive the people of St. Joseph of their rights, of their prescriptive rights, which are written in the laws of this country. She believed that she was entitled to do that. Can only be around people who are important or special. No, but let me give her this one, because she interacts with most of us, if not all of us, most of us, interpersonally exploitative for their own gain. But that one, this is where she mobilizes her cognitive dissonance behavior to give people the impression that she cares when she doesn't. Just give me the vote and watch. What are we watching? Arrogant. We can associate that with her. Lack of empathy. She don't give two hoots. She would ask. Our doctor, Crystal Haynes, without any cause of concern or otherwise. That is arrogant behavior. Lack of empathy. Don't give two hoots about what direction Senator Nichols goes in. Wrote it down there. Must be admired. And we just showed, Marcy, you just showed a clip there when you were looking at the gathering. And as you start to roll down, who did you see?
Her.
Her. Must be admired. She wants to be in everything. Every single night you see CBC TV comes on. Who is up front? She's always up front, always has to be in the forefront. And as our guest speaker, I think it was on Sunday night. What's his name again? Bear with me now.
Adrian.
No, not Adrian. Not Adrian. Our 86-year-old.
Jehan.
Not Jehan. 86 years old. Come on, Marcy.
Oh, Glenn Murray.
Glenn Murray. You know that she ran to take a picture with the president of the US.
With the Pope.
With the Pope. Not only with the Pope, but with Biden.
Ah, yes, that's true.
Yes, you know. So this is narcissistic behavior. So there are two dimensions there. Being very dominant, narcissistically, and being a despotic individual. And these characteristics, when we associate them with her behavior, we can clearly see these two dimensions surfacing and surfacing very dominant. So I wasn't surprised when the representative for St. Joseph stepped out and decided to recuse himself to represent the people of St. Joseph. So because of her despotic behavior, I don't know, he would need to tell the people of Barbados if he had to sit back and allow her, because of despotic or narcissistic behavior, to let her have her way, because that is exactly what she did.
Wow. Well, I mean, this is I hear your passion, and I'm so grateful that you brought this presentation to us and makes us there are lots of questions that we have to ask. And especially that Mr. The lawyer, you know, in this particular case, Senator Nichols is asking some, you know, is making these these declarations about prescriptive rights and basically saying there's no
Yes.
way that the case wouldn't be
Yes.
won. But I want to ask some questions, and I'm just asked as you presented some, and I want to ask some questions just before the um, that the callers start calling in. So get ready, guys, because I'm just asking some questions that probably nobody's going to be able to answer, but I'm going to ask the questions. My question is, thanks, Dave. My question is, one, Senator Nichols is a senator in the government. As far as I understand it, for him to take on this case, seeing that the town and country planning, right, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, they had given the okay for this Australian to do all the things that he's doing. Senator Nichols, in taking this case and saying he's so sure that they're going to win because, as you've outlined so clearly, how the laws are being broken, is Senator Nichols going against the Prime Minister of Barbados, his leader, going against the Attorney General of Barbados? I'm just asking questions, okay? Because we know that when the last senator that we know of that did anything of this sort was basically removed. So I'm wondering, I have to ask these questions because something, as you're saying, it's not adding up. Something isn't adding up. Is it that, so the Prime Minister, you're saying, based on the fact that she's a lawyer, she would know that something is wrong here and that the prescriptive rights are being trampled on. The good lawyer who's an attorney general, one would assume that he would know as well. So why would a senator that is way below them be the one to bring a case against the government that he is part of? There is something in the whole thing that's not adding up for me. I have had to deal with Senator Nichols in our case with Praise Academy, and we have found, I'm not calling him, we've found that he has been very inconsistent in how the facts are presented, to the point where he has had to come off of our case legally, and that was in the media, so I'm not saying anything that nobody knows. He's had to recluse himself from our case because of him, because of a conflict of interest. So I am sitting here listening to you, and you are perplexed, and I am saying it's perplexing, you're right. But I'm wondering, what is the real role of Mr. Senator Nichols in this scenario? Why is it that we're hearing from Senator Nichols when he's about to announce his candidacy in St. Thomas? What does taking on this case have to do with his candidacy? Taking on the case of Joe's River, does that help us to see him as a public defender? Does it put him in a certain light in public light? Does it lift his profile? This is not saying that he is not speaking the truth about it being the prescriptive rights being violated, but the big question is why at this time that we're seeing all of everybody is the musical chairs is happening where people are being fitted into particular slots, and his slot is St. Thomas. And is it that he is standing on this case as a way of promoting himself and making himself fit for public leadership, because we know he had failed miserably at all the other positions that the prime minister had to take those away from him. He was in transportation, he was doing several things that they had to remove him from those those positions. Is it that are people is the people in St. Joseph, are they being played? Do they all agree on the same thing? Would this goodly senator be really standing up against the government of Barbados? These are just some of my questions. And I saw somebody wrote, and I took a picture of it because they said it very, very well. Adrian Hines, he wrote something, and I have to read it because I took a picture, because the questions, the comments section rose around very, very quickly. And sometimes he says, prescriptive rights notwithstanding, I will still take Gregory's prophecy of an indefeatable case with a grain of salt. He doesn't have a high count of case wins. I don't know this is what Mr. Thing is saying. I know that in our case, with the Praise Academy case, which is actually coming up soon, I'll talk about that on another show. A whole lot went on where he had to recluse himself. So it's interesting. It's a lot, and you're surprised and you're shocked at it, and it is shocking to me as well. That's as much as I will say about it. Yeah.
But I heard the senator in the feasible, stance, and I don't have a difficulty with that. But when I look at the core of this issue, the folks in this area of Bathsheba, Hillswick, George River, Gagsa, we are very united people, and we are focused. So regardless of the volume of politics that are played within that fraternity of the Barbados Labour Party, that's fine. We respect it. But at the end of the day, we know our rights. And we will continue to take the stance that we took then. We are prepared to continue it. We don't have a difficulty with that. We're armed and we're ready. So I don't have a difficulty there.
Yeah. As somebody said, based on just what I saw with the Praise Academy case, this I'm going to take it up in prayer, because there is this sound, something is fishy about this, and especially the way you outlined it tonight. You saw me quietly listening. The way you outlined this tonight, something is wrong, and based on even what we have what we have seen occurred. Who stands up against the government and survive to the point where you're now going to be given a constituency? Something doesn't make sense. Okay, let me just bring Miss McClean in and then ask if there anybody you can call in. This is the time we've gone way over, and I leave this time for you. I consider this is your special time, and we went into it a little bit, and we need you to call in. The phone is ready. This is your time, viewers. This is the People's Line, 1246-236-7000. You can WhatsApp as well. Okay. Yes, Miss McClean, I don't know if I know you had to rush out, and Rose has to let me know, Mrs. Corbin has to let me know if she's able to come back in. She has to let me know, please. Thank you, Mrs. Corbin. Just let me know, because I know sometimes yes. Miss McClean, is there any comment that you want to make as we wait on yeah. You're muted. You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I actually went outside the outdoors for a minute. And so I missed a little bit. So just to be clear, because this whole episode with this gentleman here, I'll try to remember his last name again, Nichols, Mr. Nichols, at the school and so on, because he's not an MP, he's not the candidate yet. It's almost as he's trying to force somebody's hands. He turned up at the school earlier than the other people typically do. They tend to go a day or so before the exam and, give the pep talks and everything. So he seemed to have been trying to get ahead of somebody else. So beyond the St. Joseph scenario, I am wondering what is the game being played and who else. I mean, I've heard other names. I think that's the area that he grew up in or came from, I believe. But I know I was hearing some other names that might have been preferred choice.
Yeah, there's a call here, but finish your thought, Ms. McClean.
So I was saying that I was hearing a name that might have been the preferred choice of the Prime Minister. That's what the allegation. So my question is, what really is the intention? And why is it, and how does that inform what's happening here? But it just speaks to some interesting times.
Yes. Thank you so much, Ms. McClean. Caller, welcome to the Marcia Week Show. Go right ahead. Thank you for calling.
How are you guys doing?
We are doing great. Thank you for calling.
Happy Heroes Day from Massachusetts.
Thank you, sir.
To all the others. I was very disappointed to see that crowd down on the East Coast today on the video.
Yes. Can you guys hear him? Can you hear him?
Barely needs to come up. Needs to speak up.
Yeah, I said I was very disappointed today to see that big old crowd down on the East Coast today partying on Heroes Day, huh? Heroes being respect. Right. And I guess that, the other party don't respect our past heroes. Which is sad,
Yes, sir. Yes. And that's is that all? Is there anything else on your mind, sir?
Yes, in the Brighton issue, where they're dumping storage in the ocean.
Yes, sir. Yes.
You hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yes. So you are concerned also about the Brighton issue.
Yeah. Are there any lawyers on that case? Barbara's got a lot of lawyers, So I was wondering if there's anyone on that case to help fight against, these people that is destroying our country.
Yeah.
Well,
that's the number one. This is part of what I'm saying. The whole thing is of all of the cases, this is the only one that has a senator, government senator, that is on this case. The whole thing does not make sense because no lawyer in Barbados will want to even take up a case against the government. Worse, a government senator taking up a case against the government. It's not. So we've been calling on lawyers to assist. Even for our case, we had to. I mean, we had a tough choice getting lawyers to take up a case against the government. So it's interesting. Yes. Any other comments?
Yeah. Those lawyers in Barbados are very, very embarrassing. They were educated in Barbados, and to see that Barbados is going in the wrong direction and not want to have the audacity to take up on these cases. Wrong that's going on in Barbados, and I don't care who party it is, that is D, B, Q, or P. As a lawyer, you should at least volunteer and help fight the fight. You shouldn't let the dictator prime minister like this guy up here, Donald, treat people like that. And to the Bar Association, I'm shame on you guys too, because you guys just drive around these big fancy cars and do nothing for Barbados. Well, just as much, as bad as the DLP. That's sad. Very sad, Free education, get educated, become lawyers, but now we don't care about your own country. It's really sad, man.
Yes.
But thanks, Marcy. I appreciate your show, you know, and I continue watching from up here.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for calling. Okay. Yes. Any comments there, Mr. Lewis?
No, you know, when we think of the fraternity which these guys are operating, you know, they will take a stance at each other when they're sitting in the law courts. But when that party is over, another party begins, where they smile at each other, where they hug each other, you know. So let me respect that. But I go back to the core. And the core is that all the plans, because these plans weren't just theoretical, they actually materialized. A wall was being built. Walls were being built. Foundations were dug.
Mm.
And those things will not be occurring in that area in Joseph. So the folks can continue their party. That's fine. I don't have a difficulty with that. But you see the activity, that's a no-no. We have our rights, and we will stand up for our rights. That is where we stand. So
Yeah.
the party can continue.
Yeah. I someone here is saying that there are many cases against the government, and if I'm wrong, so be it. But I am just, from my personal experience, I found that it was very difficult, and even the lawyers told me that it's not, it's not something that you know, yeah, the average lawyer is going to be quick to take on those cases. And I can't see a senator, a government senator, um, taking a case against the government. A senator who, by the way, was the assigned lawyer for the National Cultural Foundation. So he's not just he's doing he's a lawyer for the government and other for other issues and other situations then.
Mhm.
So
But
it's
Marcia,
very
yeah,
interesting. That's all I have to say.
yes, but you would have obviously realized, you know, how the people of St. Joseph, how we stood up on this matter.
Yes, I know
You
that. I
know,
know that.
we are well organized, you know, and of course, we do hope that the current environment suggests not that we will win, but that the cultural and heritage dimensions of the Bashiba area remains intact as far as Joseph Gully is concerned. And we will not budge, you know. And I don't see an environment, no, I don't see a contentious environment. I am seeing one where individuals decided to go back to the drawing board.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, we're all human beings, we make mistakes. And if this has been a mistake made, of course, go back to the drawing board and, you know, let life continue as is. But we are still not even happy about what has transpired at the bottom of Cleaver City, but that seems to be going in its natural it is natural path, you know.
They
You
give the
know,
people they give the people a 6 for a 9. They build to tell us, remind them what kind
you
of
know,
natural state it's going in.
yes, you know, so we know that that will also come to an end, you know, maybe in a very unfortunate way, but that will also come to an end, you know. So we're gonna soon have our hill back, you know. All that stealing, everything there is gonna rust up. and fall to pieces, you know. So we heard of a project start back, then we saw a project shut down, we saw all the steel box up. I don't know how you can box up steel from salt water right alongside the ocean. I could just laugh, you know. I could just laugh, you know. So that too will come to an end. And I'm
Yes,
hoping that Bashiba, as we know it, will be restored in the not too distant future. And
yes,
we can be seeing all the guys back on top of Dennis Money Hill, sitting down, relaxing, enjoying ourselves as we always did.
yes, most definitely. Well, while we wait on callers, Dave, I had a short little presentation there about that we can discuss it together. This is about those who have served in Barbados who were not born in Barbados. As you know, people will say, "I born and grow here." People like myself and Mr. Jean can only say we grow here, or we part grow here, but we weren't born here. But we serve Barbados in so many different ways. But let's just Dave, if I could just look at that, and we're thanks to Mr. Murray who researched this information for me, and thanks to I won't can't call the other person who did the PowerPoint, but she knows who she is and she normally watches. Thank you very, very much. So Dave, if you can put your hand on that PowerPoint for me, and put it up, because you know the reason that I did that, Miss McClean, is that I saw um I saw some what do you call some posts today on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
and one of them actually was posted on you know our page, Africa Bridge TV,
Wow.
and where they were saying why they couldn't get a Bajan to do it, right? And then there were just some, you know, really terrible remarks, and lots of people liking it, and almost like that's all they got from what she was saying. They could not get past the fact that she was born in St. Lucia, regardless of what she was saying. So let's look at some successful foreigners, and I put foreigners because that's what you all call us. Foreigners. Don't matter how long we've lived here. Don't matter if we have if we have our citizenship. You guys are always seeking to get us deported and use that as a trump card to tell you, you know how many times they want to deport me. I think
They
my
can't send you anywhere.
Listen, send me where. I think my favorite, my wonderful friend Patrick King. This he would probably love to watch this tonight. And I'm not saying anything disparaging about him. I am saying he's my wonderful friend. Patrick King would want to watch this tonight because you all love to run to tell me. And he said if I mention his name again, he's gonna tell out all my secrets. Oh
Oh
my
dear. Did you tell them to him?
Well, I'm sorry. I love you, Mr. Patrick King. And so I'm calling your name again. So you might as well just come out with the secrets. But anyway, I think you would benefit from this little session here tonight. But here are some successful foreigners. Okay. You have Sir Edwy
Talma. Edwin
Cuthbert
Talma.
Talma, right? He was born in Grenada on December 22, 1909. Some of us didn't even, you know, were never around. And he died in Barbados on August 5th, 1994. Okay? Talma's political career began with the Barbados Labour Party. He had been an MP for Christchurch, um, for Christchurch, Barbados's first Minister of Agriculture was born in, let me hear you say it, where?
1909.
And
In
which country?
Grenada. In Grenada.
In Grenada, a beautiful Caribbean island. But he was MP for Christchurch. And not just that, he is our first Minister of Agriculture. Minister of Agriculture. He later joined the Democratic Labour Party. So he was part of the BLP. Then he went and joined his Grenadian, went and joined the Democratic Labour Party, continued to serve in key positions such as the Minister of Communications and Works, 1961 to 1963. under Premier Errol Barrow, who had no problem that he was Grenadian born, as well as second Deputy Prime Minister to PM Barrow. What? He was the second Deputy Prime Minister to Mr. Barrow? The Grenadian? It's good to know your history. That's why we say on the Marcia Week Show, we what? We educate, we agitate, we motivate, and we mobilize. Education, another education moment. We had several tonight by all of our panelists. Okay? In recognition of his contributions, Sir Edwy Talma was knighted in 1981, the Grenadian. So come, take it back. But let us, because it's good, Miss McClean. Let's put the facts out there. That's what you get on this show.
Marcia, his son was my dentist several years ago. I think he's late now, but then I was younger, much younger. His son was.
Yes. Well, someone is calling, and as I always do, I will ask you all to wait. So they put up the next one, but let me take this call. Don't leave, guys. We're going to continue with the next one. Good night. Good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Yeah, good night.
Good night. Can you just?
You are no foreign. You all are Caricon people just like me. So anybody that's when it's foreigners, they're literate. I have that. You always say.
Yes, I hear you. All right.
We Caricon. We don't want anyone foreigners. The Chinese are the foreigners.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you so much.
That's all I have to say.
Yes.
And keep up on the good work.
Yes. Thank you.
Watching the show though.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. When I have a good night, I tell Miss McClean I say good night and I finish it.
Good night, sir.
They're hearing you. They're hearing you. Yes. Wonderful. Yes. And guys, see people putting in there that we had alga lobe seals that you can take. Lopez, you said?
Lopes, alga lobe seals.
Alga lobe seal. A guy
was Guyanese, yes.
Just have to take care of the poor among us. Do more than what Mia is doing right now. She cared. She wasn't fake.
That is true.
Olga Lopez Steele used to
Lopes, not Lopez. Lopes.
Lopes Steele. She do 10,000 times more than your Barbadian Prime Minister. Listen, the next one is Captain Peter George Morgan. And I know of this name because when I did the movie with Mr. Barrow, and I know without reading it that he would have been our first Minister of Tourism. Am I right, Ms. McClean?
I believe he was the first. Yes, he certainly was one. I think he was the first after. I'm trying, maybe independence, but I have to check back the exact date.
Yeah,
but I remember him.
This man, Mr. Lewis, was born in England. Born in England. Not even right over there in Grenada, but in England. Okay. And he was a notable figure in Barbados, recognized his contributions beyond his military service. So he was part of the military. He was a senator and an MP for Christchurch constituency, Minister of Tourism and Minister of Information and Broadcasting. A foreigner, although they call us, they don't say foreigner. So when we talk, let's talk sense. Okay.
Marcia, there used to be even worse than that. And when I was a child, I used to talk about the people from the low islands. Now, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Vincent are mountainous. Barbados is flat. But we used to talk about, I don't know where the name came from, but this is. I mean, to hear that now is ridiculous. And coming from certain people who would want to tell you that they preach Caribbean unity.
And that this is the level of education that
and
we
right
have
now the Prime Minister is chair of CARICOM. Remember that until June.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that some key officials here have they are dating Jamaican women. So I'm saying how all of this the CARICOM entanglement happening, way up in government, and then this kind of a talk. Anyway. He was celebrated as one of the unforgettables in Barbados. The Foreigner, a group of individuals who left a significant impact on the island's history.
Yeah.
While his political involvement isn't widely documented, he was regarded as more than just a politician, earning a place among very, very special people for his multifaceted contributions to Barbadian society. Captain Peter Morgan. Somebody here said he was a decent man who loved the people he represented. Okay? Good. Oh!
Born in England.
What is not this now? Do you all see? They put back the picture because
He
they
was
might not
part of the
recognize it.
diaspora, as we call it now, the child of the diaspora.
Put him back up there. Put him back. Put him back. Watch your foreigner. Watch your foreigner. Louis, them say the man is a foreigner.
He was born in England.
Yes, he was born in England.
A foreigner there. That was the Prime Minister of Barbados.
I like that, Victor. Victor was really some British. He was born in England. Marcia, so were other members of the parliamentary group of which I was a part. Michael was born in England, as far as I remember.
Listen, folks, watch your foreigner on the screen. So you all need to put these things on social media when they want to attack Miss Dujon. She don't have the money. She does not have the money that Chad has. So you have got to help her. She's a decent woman. You know? She doesn't have the money. So you've got to help her when they talk this nonsense.
Marcia, I would suggest you invite both of them to the show and let the audience ask them questions. She would show how good she is.
Yeah, I think I need to put out the challenge to the both of them.
Bring them on the show. And you can do, you know, as you did with the Leader Opposition, come up with questions that we who asked the questions didn't see until you sent them to us the night you were up, you know.
Yeah, we will do. I'm going to write them and ask them, and if they don't come, let her come by herself.
Okay.
We give them the date and the time, etc. But David John Howard Thompson,
yes,
born December 25th, 1961.
Baby.
Tell me, say it again, Mr. Lewis. You got the accent.
Christmas baby.
Say it again. Where was he born?
He was born in England.
Right, and he died on my birthday, October 23rd.
Yes.
I will never forget that.
Mm.
He was the first Barbadian prime minister that was born overseas. Thompson was a member of the DLP and played a significant role in its leadership. He was a senator, 1978 to 87. He first entered politics in 1987. Winning a by-election, elective politics, winning a by-election for the St. John constituency following the death of Errol Barrow. Over the years, he held various ministerial positions, including Minister of Finance, 1993 to 94, Economic Affairs and Development. Known for his dedication to youth and community development, Thompson established initiatives like the Barbados Youth Service and the Youth in Business program. He was also deeply involved in cultural and sporting organizations, reflecting his commitment to the holistic national development. Thompson's leadership was cut short when he passed away from pancreatic cancer at the age of 48. And we only realized how young he was, really. Like it really, when we went with the children and did the, he was 48. His legacy continues to inspire many in Barbados and beyond. That is Honorable David Thompson. Honorable David Thompson, yes.
But Marcia, he spent 23 of those 48 years in active politics. If you look and see elective politics.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth Thompson was also born in England. Michael Ashley was born in England. Irene Sandiford Garner, if I remember, was born in England. Barbadians, we talk, and that's why David
Where was
Thompson.
John? Where was John King? As far as I know,
He was born in England.
He was born in England. So hold a minute. So we have so many politicians, so many of those who serve this country were born in England, and that's okay. That's okay, but St. Lucia is not okay.
They were saying that when Mara Thompson ran after Prime Minister Thompson died, they were saying the same thing. And as I said, the people who would want to tell you that they believe strongly in CARICOM unity and so on would want to say, you know, so. But I would ask you this: it would be interesting to see how many people have received permanent residence and have become entitled to vote in the last 6 months.
Right, we're not going to. They can go ahead and they do that and pad the voter list, but someone who has their citizenship and living in Barbados all these years, serving the country,
precisely, living here longer than they lived in their not the way they were born. Some people, right. You've been here longer than you've been over, but you know. You spent your childhood pretty much in Jamaica. You spent your adulthood in Barbados.
Correct. Mara Thompson, born October 4th, 1961, in where? St. Lucia. St. Lucia. St. Lucia. You all need to put the facts out there and shut up these people. Because they talk a lot or they don't know what they're talking about. Or try to be convenient.
Just playing games.
Miss Thompson is a Barbadian politician and educator. She has served the people of this country. She is a widow of David Thompson, the 6th Prime Minister of Barbados, who passed away in 2010. Following his death, Mara Thompson entered politics and won a by-election in January 2011 to represent the St. John constituency, succeeding her late husband. She served as a member of parliament for St. John until May 2018, representing the Democratic Labour Party. During her tenure, she focused on community development and addressing the needs of her constituents. In 2018, she retired from active politics to focus on her personal life and family. That's Mara Thompson, the St. Lucian. Okay? And we could have gone on with more. I think there's one that you know, he commissioned, you know,
yes.
Right?
Is it St. Vincent and the Grenadines?
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And he's the ambassador to CARICOM. Why aren't we having a trouble with that? That he was made, he's in this government. Although we can't tell because he's so quiet.
Nowadays
he's so quiet, but he was born in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
I suppose, but I understand, if I understand correctly, he's a cousin of Mia Motley, so maybe that makes him something different. I don't know.
That what?
I understand that he might be the cousin of the Prime Minister, so maybe that makes him different. So
probably. I'm reminded here in 1985, my friend family, Elizabeth Wadman, my friend, there's a direct sister, is his sister. She won she's a Canadian and she won the Barbadian beauty contest.
There's a calypso by Gabby about that.
Yeah. Rita Forrester from Guyana was the first female calypso monarch.
Marcia,
lived on the street that I grew up on for a while when I was a teenager. She lived in Black Rock, not far from my house, for a while.
Marcia?
Yes, go right ahead, please.
Yeah, we have another one. You want me to go ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes, we have another one born in Jamaica. Head of the Marcia Week's talk show, the best show in Barbados.
Listen, that is not government. That is talk show. That is trouble. But the troublemaker. It's the troublemaker that they want to. Don't remind Patrick. Don't remind Mr. King. You know, my friend Mr. King. Do not remind him that I was born in Jamaica. You have to keep that in mind. cannot be, no, don't remind me, because I'm going to rile up on me now. I'm going to start back on me right here.
See the accent, all of a sudden she's
No,
gone.
no, I have to speak
gone
English.
down there with that.
I have to speak English because Mr. King probably, he might be watching and he might be reminded and deport me. So let me... Listen.
A good laugh is good for the soul, man.
You know, but folks, I think the education is important, right? The education is important, that we understand that all of this. I mean, one of the greatest humanitarian here was a Guyanese, and I find a Guyanese, they do that so effortlessly, you know. Whenever we are involved in anything in the communities, I would always meet up on Miss McClean, somebody from Guyana that is actually doing the work, and that's just how they are, you know. So you know, Dave was saying also in the Dave said that the Mr. Marichal from Grenada was the one who redesigned the Crop Over Festival.
Yes.
The Crop Over Festival that we're all, everybody into this festival.
Yes, he was a big part of that.
It was a Grenadian who redesigned it.
Well, Marcia, about 3 years ago, there was a big family reunion of mine. Guess where? In Grenada.
In Grenada.
Because my dad had relatives who left here and went to Grenada. There he is, Mr. Marichal, Julian. Yeah,
yes. No, you know, somebody's saying that we need to leave this and move on to other matters. No, it is important matter. It is an important matter. There is an election on the 21st of May. And if this is a sentiment that is out there, it has to be addressed because it is propaganda. And the propaganda must be addressed. Very important.
It is also important to say that people who will go out there vilifying or trying to besmirch the name of Miss Dujon are some of the same persons who would want to tell you that they're the strongest advocates of Caribbean unity. You know, and that is a problem. So in other words, you're saying one thing and acting in another in a way that's convenient to you because you recognize that she's a strong candidate. And that's why I hope, Marcia, you can get the two of them, the two opponents on the show and let people see and hear two of them simultaneously.
Yes.
But I suspect I know the outcome of the invitation. Well, it wouldn't be Mr. John because she's on the show, been on the show already. So I suspect, but do it so that I won't have to wonder. We'll get to know if both parties would agree to come.
Yes, I will do it. I will organize it, and I will let the public know that this is what we would like to do, and we're seeking, you know, to get the both of them on the show, and to have a debate. You know, let's have it. Let's have it. Okay. Well, guys, we've come to the end of the show, and you know, I must confess and let you know, I'm not normally on Mondays, and this was such a difficult show at the beginning to put it all together and everything. As Miss McClean said, people would not know. Dave knows, and he saw me running around last minute trying to make things happen. Couldn't get Mr. Lewis, and therefore my head was not in a space of what am I going to speak on or who is going, you know, all of that. But I am so happy that the way it came together, and I want to take this opportunity to thank the viewers, Miss McClean and Mr. Lewis, because without the viewers, then there's no show. And I want to thank each and every one of you who come on. You get on sometimes after 5, you've logged on, and you send your message saying hello. And to let me know that you're there. Sometimes you don't know. I come on and tears fall from my eyes because I'm depending on the kind of day that I have, and then I see the people who are on, and it touches me because I do this, and Miss McClean and Mr. Lewis and Castle Franklin, and everybody, Dr.
Rose.
Ferdinand, who could not be here tonight because of family issues, Rose Corbin, give me the name, Adrian Hines, who just been added, all of these, everybody.
Mr. Strickland.
Mr. Strickland, Nigel, when he's able to come on. Everybody here, we do it because of you. It's our love for Barbados. So when you come on and we see you on, it's encouraging. Dave, who leaves work and just comes and sits down and and having his dinner while he's preparing. We do it, Miss McClean, all of us here, Mr. Lewis, because we love Barbados. We love you guys. We care. We care. And this loyal opposition is strong because of your contributions, what you send us, all the information you send us. One person sent me, "Did you read the thing yet?" I said, "Oh no, I didn't get to read it yet. Don't forget." But they're always sending us information. So I wanted to just say thank you to all of you tonight. God bless you. Miss McClean and Mr. Lois, is there anything you want to say to us? I think Miss Corbin's thing is open. I didn't see that her mic was open. I was watching earlier and I didn't see
there,
it.
yeah.
Yes. So let's hear from everybody. Take a half a minute. Hi, Miss Corbin. Mrs. Corbin, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I've been here all the time.
Yes, and I was asking you to give me a sign that you're able to come on, and I just saw that your mic was turned on. So can you take a half a minute and just say I'll leave you last because you would have to be thinking about what to say. I'm just springing it on you. So Miss McClean, can you go ahead and just
Well, I just want to say that as we observe what's happening around Barbados, it is disheartening to see a level of wastage taking place at a time when there are so many Barbadians in need and so many of our young people needing direction and opportunities. And I hope that we can see some changes in that approach and the attitude to those issues. And for the better for our young people, because I am getting very concerned, especially about our young men, and that's something I'll touch on another occasion.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Lewis.
I'm concerned about what the current environment as it relates to the matter with the teachers of this country.
Yes.
And when I heard the stance that the Minister of Education, what's his name again, Reed, the stance that he took when he saw
Blackman,
when he sought to politicize the statements made by the teachers, I think that was very unfortunate, and I know that is something that is going to haunt him straight into election day.
True.
And I know that Felicia Dujon will be a very fierce competitor. My predictions are that, not only that she will win, but that this will form the catalyst for the Democratic Labour Party and any other parties that seek to come on board, because we don't have a knit environment now, as it is clearly realized what is going on in the whole arena of the politics of the Barbados Labour Party. When we look at this other lady that Mr. Hickson was seemingly suggesting, when Miss Piggy had some personnels, and we realized the environment there, that it is not one that is cohesive. And of course, we know that the stance that Felicia has taken will be a victorious one, and we look forward for that moment of victory just a few weeks from now.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I see my friend Sonny there, born in the UK, I believe, and she's the one advocating for the people in Gibbs. And
Yeah.
that's what we do. We come here, we love Barbados, and we love the people. Sonny, thank you for what you do for the people in Gibbs. Thank you so much. Mrs. Corbin?
Yes, Marcia, and I would end where we began tonight, um, talking about Heroes Day, National Heroes Day. We were given, through an act of Parliament, um, there were 10, and then we were given an extra one on becoming a republic, our heroes. And although we've been given these, I'm encouraging ourselves to recognize that there are other heroes around us. Look for them and celebrate them. Unfortunately, we have one person who is installing herself as a hero already. I'm not post-mortem, but right here in this present day, establishing herself as the people's hero, the people's savior, the world's hero, the regional's hero, the region's hero, the world's hero. And I'm asking us to define for ourselves the kind of persons that we want to uplift as heroes. Look within ourselves, look in our communities, our homes, and praise and celebrate those who do things not through machinations and movementations and musical cheers in the interest of themselves, but in the interest of others. So every day, look for the hero within yourself and look for the hero around you and amongst us and celebrate Barbados. And by the way, if I were living in another country and there were opportunities for me to serve
Yes.
at national level, I would have. And I encourage all others, regardless of your complexion, your accent, or your place of origin, where you are and you call it home, make it a better place. That's a hero. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mrs. Corbin. Very well said. So over to Dave. And this is where we say a pleasant good night. Sweet dreams, everybody. Sleep well. Yes. Have a good night. Have a great night. Wonderful show, guys. Thank you. Thank you, panelists. You came. Everybody was just hitting tonight. Awesome. Awesome job. Over to you, Mr. Weeks. Mr. Weeks. But the people are asking for, they asked for the Do John song.
Oh yeah.
Okay?
I saw that. Yes.
Right, you saw that, right?
I saw the request. Yes.
Yes, they said a new song. They call it the new song. And someone called me even from the US today to tell me how they love this song.
It's sweet.
And,
yeah, I like it.
Go ahead. I don't know if Mr. Lewis heard.
The bee's hope is a man named Chad. Had fancy jobs, the suit looked not too bad. He talked real slick when the media came, but on the streets, he'll forget our names. Potholes deep and the taps run dry. We call his name, but he won't reply. In 7 years, not a thing has changed. Now the people rise, cause we've been estranged. Time for a change, let the old ways go. We see the light in the one we know. She walks with us and feels our pain. Felicia Dujon is her name. Vision strong and hands that heal. She listens well and she keeps it real. So gather round, everyone come forth. Vote for Dujon and St. James North. Chad Dad's got stats and fancy plans, but we still have empty pots and pans. He's in the papers, he's on the news, but in our hood, we just feel used. Two Johns walk, whole town square, helping kids with love and care. She don't just talk, she does the work, lifting voices while Chad would shirk. Time for a change, let the old ways go. We see the light in the one we know. She'll walk for us through the sun and rain. Two Johns hears and feels your pain. Vision strong, attention surreal. She listens close and she keeps it real. So gather round, let the word be known. We want Two John on the lower house floor.
I love that part.
No more neglect, no more spin. We want a leader who fights to win. Not for power, not for show, but for St. James North, row by row. Final time for a change, let the truth be loud. We're rising up and we're standing proud. With Dooge's light, she'll lead your way to brighter nights and better days. Vision strong and words that heal. She listens well and she keeps it real. So cast your vote and we'll go forth. Two John will fight for you in St. James North. Felicia Dujon is her name. Vision strong and hands that heal. She listens well and she keeps it real. So gather round, everyone come forth. Vote for Dujon and St. James North.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks
And
to the
good
person
night.
who prepared
Good
it.
night, everybody.
Yes,
Take
yes.
care, Rose. Have a good one. Victor?
You too, you
Bye-bye.
too. Good night, all.